Hello everyone, great to have you back in what is the light at the end of the tunnel. The world's currently in a bit of a crazy state, and with that I hope that you and your family have been keeping safe with all that's been going on. Now fortunately, the Isle of Man has been able to hit coronavirus pretty hard, and we've sort of locked ourselves away from the rest of the world. It's been an interesting journey, and from what we knew as the usual unrestricted isle was actually heavily restricted, with the emergency powers dropping a 40-mile-an-hour blanket limit over everywhere. Yep. We had empty roads and the mountain was 40 mile an hour. It was bittersweet, but we've managed to get over it. And as of today, that limit has been lifted to 60 mile an hour. And there is no legal requirement for social distancing. So we've done pretty well to knock coronavirus back. That being said, I personally don't see much difference between 60 and 40. But there has been statements given that is with the sight to lift the restrictions and get back to our usual freedoms by the end of the month. So it's time to get the 10 out of the corner and give it a good old safety check. While the bike has been in lockdown, it could have developed some issues. It's unlikely, but better safe than sorry. You want the peace of mind that you're not going to have any mechanical issues when you get back out and up top. So stick with me and we'll go through the very simple 7-point check. So while UK riders have been out and about recently, this is a bit more aimed at the locals on island. Now I know a lot of the lads have been out and about sticking to the 40 mile an hour. It may be easy to think that if you're out riding then there aren't any issues, but it's always worth just having a good old check. Now while we all know that we should do a pre-ride check every time we ride the bike, we all know we're human. So with that, we'll go through the A to G check. It's easy as ABC, D, E, F, G. So A is for air and things that hold air. That's your tyres. Now I've got the bike on stands here, which just makes it a little bit easier to get a good check around the full circumference, but this can be done just on your kickstand, rolling the bike forward and backwards, just so you can get a good look round and see the tyre. Looking for any uneven wear, whether your tread depth is getting low. If you've got a gauge you can check it, but there should be some marker points. If in doubt, you're probably getting a bit low. And check your tyre pressures. Tyre pressures tend to differ from bike to bike, but not too much. But you should check your manual if you've got one, or if not, a simple Google will usually tell you what this should be at. Now if you do have your bike on stands, now would be a good time to just see if there's any untoward noises or any wiggle in the bearings. Now B is for brakes. You want to check the condition of the disc for any scores, grooves, or anything that just doesn't look right, and see if you can see in and check the pads, inner and outer, on all calipers. Usually easier if you don't have a big camera trying to poke in the way. Don't forget to check the fluid levels and condition. If it looks a bit dark or you can't remember when it was last changed, then maybe it's time to change. Now B is going to quickly turn into C here, and we'll remove the belt that has a big tank destroying buckle on. So the B for brake is grabbing hold of the C controls. Putting firm pressure on the front and back brake levers, you should feel them go hard, that there's no air in the system getting compressed. You then need to rock back and forth and see whether the bike moves. Now generally speaking, a move forward, your front brake isn't grabbing as it should. A move backwards, your back brake isn't grabbing as it should. Now, everyone knows the bikes. And a general rule of thumb is if it doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. So as you're doing that on the controls, you'll feel if anything's untoward or moving. Have a go with the clutch, make sure it's moving smooth, and you'll feel the suspension compression. It should be smooth and as you expect really. Now while we're up here, we can have a flick through the rest of the controls. That's C. Did you just come sniff the bike?
Yeah.
Nice. Not only do you need to make sure that the controls feel like they're doing what they should, but also that they're not going to fall off. Oh, no, that's alright. The D is for drive chain, and of course, the sprockets. You want to check you've got the appropriate amount of slack as per your manual, as well as the teeth are in good condition, and the sprockets are there. Now E is for engine. And what does the engine make? Power. So the best way to remember what to look for in an engine is power. P-O-W-E-R. Now P is for petrol. Have you got any? How long has it been in there? Does it smell a bit funky? If so, fill it or change it. O is for oil. How long has the oil been in there? Is there enough of it in there? Could differ on manufacturers, so double check how to check it, but usually a sight glass around the side that will give you an idea. W is for water. Now obviously if you've got an air-cooled bike, this isn't going to matter, but there'll be either an overflow reservoir or in the top of the radiator so you can see what your level's like and the condition of it. E is for electrical wires. Check all your wiring, just make sure there's no pinch points. Obviously you could do a full strip down everywhere to try and find hidden wire as the loom runs everywhere. But just a general check over to make sure there's no damage or anything that would cause an electrical issue. And R is for rubber. Check all of your hoses, even if they're silicone, we're still going to count them just for any signs of cracking, perishing, any leaks or pinch points again. And that brings us nicely onto F, which is for fixings. Give them a good check, make sure they're secure. Spanner check them if you want. Just go around, just have a look at all the nuts and bolts and make sure nothing's come loose since the last time you were riding. Now G is for guy, girl and gear. Don't forget what you're going to be wearing when you're on top of the bike. Maybe give your visor a good clean or apply any anti-fogging agents that you use. Give your gloves, your boots and your leathers or textiles a good once over and make sure there's no damage, tears or little holes that may have appeared. Now during lockdown, a lot of us have been doing some boredom eating. So our gear may have shrank a bit whilst it was hung up in the garage. So try it on and make sure it still fits and you've got full range of movement. Now as for us riders, we need to make sure that we drop our egos and take it steady the first sort of time that we're out and about. Build up the pace slowly. Even if you've been out at the 40 mile an hour, it's a lot different when you stick that one in front. And we need to remember that it's a road, not a racetrack. As well as an influx of pleasure riders and drivers, there will be people just going about their daily business from A to B. We need to be vigilant and ride to the conditions and our limitations. It's simple, we'll just switch on and we'll enjoy it. Switch on the brain before we switch on the throttle too much. It's dead simple. This is a basic safety check, just a quick checklist to go through. If there's anything you're not sure on or want answered in questions, drop them down in the comments. I'm happy to help as much as I can. If you found this helpful, please drop it a like, I'd really appreciate it, and subscribe if you haven't already. That's about it. I'll see you up top and we'll stop at the Craig. Ride safe, not slow. Bye-bye.